welcome back. Wait, have I seen you here before? Maybe I have, maybe I haven't, but I have to ask you. You come here often? Welcome back to the channel. Today, what are we doing? I don't know. Why does anybody ask me anything anymore? I don't know anything. Today, top-down camera, it's going to be okay. You don't need to be so wobbly. You don't need to be so wobbly. It's going to be fine. We're going to be fine. I promise. No, it's fine. Today we're actually going to be working on the forge stand a little bit more. The weather is getting nicer out consistently, and it's going to be a hot summer here in northern Michigan. So I've got to do this soon because I don't know if we're going to have scheduled rolling blackouts or not. I've heard rumor that that the Midwest is going to be getting some of the what you call it, rolling blackouts, like planned ones, because people are going to be using their air conditioning so much and there's not enough power to go around. So hopefully that doesn't start yet. It's not that hot out, it's just muggy. So we will be working on the refractory in one of these videos very, very soon because the days are actually matching up with what we want to see. So this particular video, though, is hopefully going to be finishing up the forge stand. I keep wanting to say anvil stand, but I did that not on video. So yeah, this right here, this is going to be what we're focusing on. I've got some leggy legs here. Got 4 legs that are cut over off to the side here. Should be able to bring those around. Got these, yeah, that worked out well. These 4 legs that I'm going to be using by bolting them to the frame, and then I will probably be using some of this reinforcement material as well as crossbars so that the legs don't spread too far or narrow in or anything like that. We don't want distortion of the legs of our stand because when you're dealing with 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit or 2,400 degrees Fahrenheit, you don't want that tipping over and falling or going bleh, because it'll probably set a lot of things on fire. So I want this to be fairly sturdy. If these legs do not work out, I'll buy some different angle steel. That's about all I can do. The last time you saw me, I was drilling through this stuff with just my regular old Milwaukee cordless and a step bit as well as a needle drive. Needle drive, is that what this is called? Shaft drive, straight, whatever you call it. Anyway, so that's what we're gonna do. Let's plan out a little bit here. And again, I don't have any diagrams to provide to you. If you would like me to draw up some basic diagrams, please let me know. I can do that. But I doubt anybody watching my channel is actually going to follow my plans, because more than likely they're going to see me taking a stab at it and finding, oh, hey, there's how not to do this. Because I don't know. I enjoy making these videos. I think the most consistent hobby I've had over the years of my life, years of adult life and otherwise, the most consistent hobby I've had is content creation. And it's not necessarily content creation for YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or even Twitch back when I was doing Twitch stuff. Although I've been thinking about doing more live streaming stuff here on YouTube once I get the forge set up. So if you're interested in live streams of me forging stuff, please let me know, because I'd be right interested. But I gotta figure out how to do that. There's some logistical things with a laptop and a camera and all that stuff out in the shop. And my shop is pretty crowded. I gotta figure out some sort of storage shed situation at some point so that I've got a little bit more space. What I really need to do is just organize what I've got, but don't use logic on me, you. Anyway, oh, apologize. My phone lit up, and y'all don't care about my phone. Y'all don't care about what I do on my phone. Listen, bring it in real nice and tight. I know you don't care about what I do in my personal life, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to tell you anyway. And if you're really interested in my content, you're going to continue to watch because you're an amazing person and I love you. That said, back to your normally scheduled programming. Scheduled programming. I should have brought my calipers up. Crap. Calipers would make this really easy. I'm going to go get my calipers because why wouldn't I? Why would I not make my life easier? Now you get to see the beauty that is my flowing mane. Oh, my Fabio-esque appearance, my suave, bulging, muscular. It's all fat. It's not muscle. No, I'm going to go get my calipers real quick, and we'll see you in a flash. I've got my calipers with me, my trusty dusty El Cheapo model calipers. These are just NACO, which might be an attempt at a generic name for Seiko, maybe? I don't know. But these are nice. I think I've shown these on the show before, or on the videos before. But channel, that's the word I was looking for. These are nice because they run on a tiny little watch battery. Watch it be completely dead. It does have an analog function, but I'm not so great at reading that, honestly. But this outputs, and it's not going to show up for crap on camera, but it outputs in millimeters, inches, and I think, or inches / feet. That's interesting. Oh, no, fractions. That's what it is. That's right. And then just has your normal tare and a little locking nut. So it's great because I can measure the insides of things with these, the outsides of things, like diameters with these, and the depth of things with the bottom of the handle. So I can actually pull that down. It'll tell me the depth, which is real handy. Why is this relevant to the content we're about to discuss? Because up on edge of this, I need to put some holes in my corners. In order to know where to put these holes so it lines up here and with the leg, I need to measure that. I also would preferably, or I would also like to put multiple holes. I would also like to use multiple bolts per leg if I can, not just one on each side, because obviously there's going to be at least 2 in the corner, one here and one off to the side here. But I'd also like to just be able to put 2 here, like vertically if possible. But we'll see. We'll see what that looks like. You can see that I didn't put any extra bolts in the sides. I may choose to do that. I'm going to test out some strength stuff at some point with that. But as of right now, the plan is to fly by the seat of our pants. Because again, that's what I do best. That's what I do best. Ah, shake the paint pan. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Da 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 da. Make a fool of yourself on the internet. Nobody will ever know. Except all the people that watch these episodes. All right. So my first consideration is, do I want these flush mount? And what I mean by flush mount is when you have a top like this, you can go flush with the top, like this, or you can't see that well. Sorry, stuff's heavy. It's okay, relax. So you can either have it go up to the edge of the lip, like that. Quit your wobbling there, camera. Yeah, I need you to relax. Bear with me here. We can go flush mount, which is essentially where this angle steel will go here, and it'll look real clean across the top. Or we can go on this lip here. And I'm inclined to go on the lip. And the reason I'm inclined to go on the lip is because we're going to get a much more clean fasten or clean grip or purchase by going flush with this than we are with the lip. So we're going to go up to the angle steel here. So that tells me that my 0 point is going to be the top edge of this angle steel, the bottom edge of this top plate. In order to achieve that, I want to know, I believe this angle steel is 1 inch. I want to say it's 1 inch. I'm pretty sure it's 1 inch. I'm gonna slide this off my edge a little bit. Geez, so wobbly, so wobbly. It's almost like I'm working with heavy things on my table here. So, you wanna be careful if you don't know this. I learned this when I was quite a bit younger, but if you don't know this, if you're dealing with metal curls like you would find on a lathe or on a, like off the end of a drill or something like that, you want to be really careful handling them because they are just sheared metal. And so they can have some really sharp edges or burrs on them. Burrs and edges are different things, but they could have both or either or. Just so you know, they can be very sharp and they can give you some pretty wicked metal splinters. So that's not fun. We want to avoid that. But what is that in freedom units? 1.2. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So we're 1.25 inches? Really? That surprises me. 1.21 technically. So let's measure the heads of our bolts real quick. That's not the right size. My stuff got jumbled up. Go figure. Let's zero you out. And the heads are 0.3. 0.36. So, if that's the case, the other thing I can do is just stand this up, take another one of my bolts, not that one, geez, and we should be able to, it's gonna be okay. I need you to live your life a little bit, bolt, but not that much. We should be able to do 2 and still have some decent purchasable metal there. Oh, this is gonna get mathematical very quickly. You can't see what I'm doing with my hand. There we go. There are the 2 bolts, right there. Right there, those tiny little things right there. So we can do that. What I'm gonna do, this is actually, I think, a better idea at the moment. And I've said this before, doesn't have to look pretty, it just has to be functional. So what I want to do is I want to take my steel leg that I'm going to have here, uncap my paint pen, or my paint marker, I want to draw lines where the leg is going to go, or where the leg should go, like that. And that should tell me where it's safe and what margins I have to work in for my bolts to go in. I know that I've got that to work with on each side. I'm going to drop these in like that. And I think we can do that. I think that that is a reasonable separation. So what I want to do, actually, let's actually do this the mathematical way, right? If we've got, I don't know how well this display is going to show up on there, but probably not too swell. Maybe. Okay. So we're going to measure our steel here. We got 1.23. Okay. So 1.2 is going to be 0.6. These calipers also are able to score your metal. We want to draw ourselves a nice line there. Cool. Then from there, we want to find our, from there we want to find ourselves a nice halfway point vertically. Wow, thanks paint. Oh, cool, thanks thumb. Just ever so slight dot. And because of that, we're going to go right there. There we go. So what is that telling me? That's telling me where I want to put the actual drill bit for my bolt, on those dots. Now what's going to be fun is the fact that this is all attached. Oops. What's gonna be fun is that this is all attached. It is so darn hot in my shop. Oh, come on, undo. Oh, yeah. Forgot I built this the right way. Put washers on everything. Oh no. There you are, you dirty, dirty Sheila. Dirty Sheila. There we go. Okay, and then over here, put our Allen key back into place. Bring it around town. Bring it around town. Hey, hey, hey. I do sing a surprising amount in my daily life. Thoroughly enjoy singing. I'm not great at it. I'm not bad. I would say that I have my tone deaf moments, and especially when I'm learning how to play around with new sounds and stuff like that, I sound pretty bad. But you know what? You'll never be good at something if you don't suck first. Put that on my t-shirts. I should actually. You can't be good until you suck. Well, no, don't put that. Don't put that on a t-shirt. Let's do that. All right. Where are we working? There we go. See, now I have a manipulable piece of metal. I can put it in my vise. I can put it right here on the table and drill into my tabletop if I so please. I have options, y'all. So I think I'm gonna sweat to death. It's so humid. It's so humid. It has no business being this humid. My ears. Yeah, I want to do it this way. And the reason I want to do it this way is because I now have dots on here. I want to drill my pilot holes or my master holes in the side piece because that's the material that I'm limited with. And if I put my holes in there first, I can take my paint pen, once it's all reattached and everything, or not. And then I can paint, or I can just immediately start to mark and drill the holes on the leg itself. So I'm gonna do this part first. One thing I wanna make sure that you know that I'm doing is I am going to put this back together because this is my first one. I wanna make sure it's done right before I set precedent for myself. And what I mean by setting precedent for myself is and I'm sure most people do this, but I can only speak to my experience. If I ever come off as somebody that's like saying that everybody feels this way, that's not what I mean. What I mean is, in my experience, this is what I've been able to observe. I'm not so close-minded as to think that I know everything, nor that I know more than other people about things that they are clearly more educated or more capable in. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, when I say the ambiguous or undefined you, I very clearly mean, or hopefully very clearly mean, me, what I'm going to do, what I intend, the brave and mighty Stephen. I don't know what I was saying now. Jeez. Anyway, oh yeah, I have a tendency to build a pattern. That's what I was saying is I don't want people to think that I think that I am the only one that does this, because I'm sure a great many people do. The human brain is a complex thing that tends to follow patterns, and we've been around long enough now as human beings that patterns, there are not a whole lot of new patterns coming out. So what I'm saying is that my brain tends to, once I set precedent or once I've done something once, I think that that's the way it's supposed to be done every time, whether or not it was successful. And my brain does every once in a while have a moment of clarity where I say, oh, hey, there's gotta be a better way, like the typical white person in a Billy Mays commercial. God rest his soul, whatever he believed in. Anyway, so like, my brain immediately thinks, oh, hey, yeah, we're going to mark this way. Yep. Yep, top. This way. The brain likes to recognize patterns, right? So we inherently try to do things the same way each time. And again, I am no different by any stretch of the imagination. Any stretch of the imagination. Ah, you are not a right angle. There we go. You're close to a right angle, but you're a wrong angle. Is that better or worse? That's probably about where we want it to be. So I want to make sure I'm doing this as right as I possibly can. On the first one, so that my brain doesn't have to set a whole new pattern every time. And the primary thing I'm doing right now is praying that I didn't screw up my markings. Because even when I think I'm right, I usually end up being pretty friggin' wrong. So I don't want to disturb my paint too much. I just want to know exactly where I'm at, and I want to absorb as much or remove as much excess paint as possible. So I am going through with a paper towel and getting rid of my excess paint on that bar there. So now we drill that portion. Now time for our fit up. On leg number 1. At least for these holes. So I'm not going to put the washers on these for now. Yeah, that's what I like to see. It's hard for me to show this off without sliding the whole thing off the table. I apologize. And you can see that my bolts are fitting through. The next thing you might be wondering is why I'm putting the nut on the outside rather than on the inner joint here. And it's simply because I know that I'm not going to have enough clearance. Then I know that it's going to go too far in and it's going to interfere with the next bolts that I try to put in place. So I'm trying to avoid that problem, right? So toasty, warm out here. I could put the bolt the other way, but I'm not going to. I could have worn shorts for this project, but when you're dealing with metal shavings, no, I didn't want to. I don't want to deal with that crap. So here now we have a small predicament. I do need to tighten down these more, these here, because I don't want any movement in our pieces here, because it will throw off the alignment of darn near everything, actually. It'll throw off the alignment of these two legs, which in turn will make it really not great for trying to line up the other legs. I know you can't see that well at the moment. I'm working off the edge a little bit more than I normally do. So again, sorry about that, but okay. So now what I want to do is I want to tighten these things down. So that we're not getting a whole lot of movement here. This mild steel that I'm working with, or as Home Depot sells it, plain steel. It's a lot easier to drill through than that sheet steel was. The 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch or whatever it is. I think it's 1/4 inch. I could just measure it. I think it's 1/4 inch. Quarter inch. I don't know why I thought it was going to be 1/8 inch. Whatever. Back to my hat, because I'm sick of my hair looking like garbo. Also, repping a nice embroidered hat. That I don't know if I've said it here before, but I know I've said it on stream. I thoroughly enjoy making things in general. As you well know, I'm making this stuff, but I thoroughly enjoy making things in general. And so I made merch, or I designed merch, And I designed it, because I wanted to, not because I expected anybody to buy my merch. Though if you want to, I can provide a link in the description. It's all Teespring stuff, or Spring, I guess they call themselves now. So don't expect the highest quality on the shirts and stuff. They look good and everything, and they last a number of washes, but I have noticed some fading on the ones that I've got. The hat, though, I've got this and I've got a flat bill, and both of them have stood up pretty well. I mean, they're not $59.50 or anything like that, but I think they look good. So anyway, I'm noticing a gap that I've got right in here. Which is a little bit of a hindrance, because I don't want to put too much shear pressure. It's because this angle, it's a bent leg, or a what do you call it? Not bent, but crimped, I guess would be a word for it. Anyway, they bend it over a breaker bar kind of thing, and that's fine and all, but it leaves a radius on the inside, so there's a concavity there instead of it being a 90-degree angle. So I'm running into that radius now, and I'm thinking I'm gonna have to make a shim, and I'm wondering if my support material is a good shim. It looks like it might be. Looks like it just might be. So I'm gonna cut a couple of lengths off of this. Probably, I don't know, 4 would probably be a good number of lengths to cut. And those lengths will allow me to shim each of the places that will need it, because I'm anticipating needing it. It's gonna complicate my cuts a little bit as far as my drilling, but what are you gonna do, right? Like, what are you gonna do? Life finds a way. This is not particularly hard work. It does take intentionality and focus, but it's not like super hard work. I'm not trying to play it up like it is. It does tire me out. It does wear me out, and again, with the heat and the humidity the way that it's ramping up to be, I'm gonna be a miserable boy. I'm gonna be a miserable boy. And some hearing protection, because the sound of a hacksaw going through mild steel is one of my not so favorites. So, all right, I got my shims. Probably a little bit warm. Yeah, they're a bit warm. Not awful, but they're warm. Those should just sit right down in there. Again, doesn't have to be pretty. Neither do I. All right, I may only be able to get one bolt in on that. We could be a little bit risky there, right? A little bit of risky business. A little bit of risky bidnu. It's a small world after all. I do have it here. Nice. Let's sure the camera's, oh wow. Camera was loving that. It's like a dance party. Oh man, what's happening with that hair? Oh, it looks great. Oh yeah, great for camera. Professional. All right, but we got the shim in here, and it's about as far down as it's gonna go. What I'm thinking through is it's gonna be tough to screw this into place, I think. This is gonna be tough. But you know the process behind this, so I'm probably gonna just speed this part up, honestly, or skip forward. I have a time lapse that's running, so I might cut over to that. By the way, speaking of time lapses, I got a bone to pick with one of two corporations, right? Like there's, if it's not TikTok, it's YouTube. One of the two of these, right? I got a copyright claim on a TikTok video. I ended up taking it down because I don't want to deal with that crap. But I made a summary video of this, and it went up a couple hours before on Wednesday, before the canonical episode, the lengthy, the hour-long one, right? And I have a bone to pick with them because those jerks, they copyright claimed me. Well, YouTube or TikTok just had an automated system. I used YouTube free music. Free to use YouTube music provided to creators. And they had the gall to throw me a copyright notice. I couldn't even fight it. I couldn't even fight the claim. Come on, man. Like, what the heck? Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to cut here. Yeah, I'm going to cut here. And I'll talk you through how I solve this problem next. There. The legs are done. Well, the legs themselves are done. I still want to put cross beams in. By cross beams, I mean something like that where like, or maybe, you know, like that on all four of the legs, so that I have a nice stable base, you know? So we've got this crossbar coming in down here, kind of deal. One on the other two legs, and then also across the narrow gap. I could do an X, or I could just do a double triangle kind of thing. Doesn't really matter to me either way. I'm gonna look into what's the better way to do it. I'm guessing technically the X is the better way to go as far as this goes. Remember, the X is not always the better way to go. Sometimes it's good to start fresh. Don't take relationship advice from me. Actually, speaking of that, my 5th anniversary is coming up. So, I mean, take relationship advice from me if you want to. I don't have a whole lot. Just communicate, talk to your partner. All right, that being said, I want to stand this up. See how level it is, if it is at all level, because that'll tell me if I need to trim the tops of the feet. I don't know if you can, there we go. Trim the tops of the feet here, or not. I also want to put some caps on these, but I don't know what that's going to take. It may just take buying some of this mild stock, or mild steel, and then bending it, or buying another piece of this. Actually, I could just take some of this. Oh no, Steven, what are you thinking? Are you thinking about building another box? Yes, I am. Steven, Steven, why do you do this to me? Steven, why would you do this to me? Because I want this to be strong, and I want this to not sink into the ground when I set it on dirt or grass or whatever, because I do plan on having this outside when I go to use it. So let's flip it up. I may have to readjust my camera. Let me preemptively readjust my camera, actually. Can you see me now? You proud of me now, Ma? I hope so. My mom's awesome. Can't imagine her not being proud of me, honestly. But I'd have to screw up pretty bad to do that, and let's hope that doesn't happen. So, let's flip this up. Best way to flip this up. Probably like this. Hey, hey. Would you look at there? Was it a pain in the butt? Yeah. Did I have fun doing it? Heck yeah. Was it worth it? Yeah. So this is pretty nifty. Let's grab my phone. I have a bubble level on my phone. It's actually called Bubble Level, not a sponsor. Of course, there are ads. Honestly, not too shabby. I'm only, if it'll stop wobbling, I'm actually only negative 2.4 degrees off on the Y, which I can adjust if I really want to. I don't really need to. Now, machinists are gonna be like, oh my God, oh, what are you doing? That's so far off. But I ain't no machinist. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is I am going to put my forge on top of this so we can see what it actually looks like. Ready? Yeah, it is quite wobbly for what I want. So those stabilizers are definitely gonna need to happen. But I dare say that looks pretty good. What's nice about this is it's right at the perfect length for me, or the perfect height for me to comfortably put in steel. It's right at my belly button height. So it's like the perfect height for me to be able to put steel in and then pull steel out, you know? It's very comfortable here, right? And it's not a ridiculous height from the ground to get a tank down here or whatever, or away from it or what have you, but it's, I think, in a great place, I think. Again, stabilizers on feet, gonna be huge. Let's rotate this a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about here. I don't have the refractory in here, that'll be another episode, but I should be able to take a nice bar of steel, put it right in here, like that, let it heat up, pull it out, swing it over to my anvil, and hit, you know? Just smack it. Just smack it. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with this. This is nifty. Gotta get some exciting side shots of that as well, or after shots. But honestly, I'm really happy with that. I mean, that's the first thing I have personally fabricated out of steel, and steel alone, ever. I mean, and something that's actually functional. I'm really stoked about that. I'm really very excited about this. This is so cool. I made this. This is fantastic. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Again, it's not completely done, but it is a table at this point. And it tells me that for a decent price, actually, because I can get cheaper materials, like the cheaper top plate or whatever, I can make a grinding stand for my table grinder, or my desktop grinder here, whatever you call it. And I can set things up, like I can make myself a welding stand or whatever. Like, y'all, I'm flipping proud of myself. That's so cool. That's so cool. And it's a little bit kooky. It's a little bit cattywampus. There are a couple of things on the legs where they're bowing and warping a little bit, but that's gonna happen. I mean, that's gonna happen, right? Until they're supported properly. So I'm stoked, real stoked. That being said, this is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching and for sharing with me an incredible moment in my hobbyist career. Thank you so much for experiencing me fabricating a table from the ground up by myself. No help, a couple of articles on what steels to use for for temperature for the bolts anyway. But other than that, I did this myself. Now, will it stand up to the heat? I don't know. I hope so. I really hope so. But we'll see. I mean, honestly, again, if this becomes a real issue, I will go through and I'll go through and weld it or have somebody weld it for me. Because I don't want this to be something that falls over or melts or falls apart or anything like that. So we want to make this real good. Real good. But yeah, I always do this. I say this at the end of this video, and then I go on a tangent. I do this a lot. I do this like every time, where I say it's the end of the video and then I go off on a really random tangent. I don't need to. But for real though, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you joining me on this journey and on this exciting series called Shop Talk. If you like this, go ahead and hit the thumbs up on the video. It helps a lot. Tells me that you do enjoy this content. If you have suggestions or ideas on where you want to see this table go or any other part of the forge go, throw it in the comments. I'm taking suggestions and mulling them over in my head. I may not apply what you've got to say, but I may apply what you've got to say. I don't know. I reserve the right to change my mind on my own channel, in my own space, on my own little divot of the internet. And if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscription button if you haven't already. Turn that red button to gray and make sure you hit the bell icon. Hit that all so it lets you know when any and all of my videos go live or go up, brand new, whatever the terminology is. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm all messed up in the head just from pure joy. I'm really proud of myself. Until next time, have a good one.